After Chelsea's interest was made public yesterday by David Ornstein, it is now being widely reported that Arsenal will not just eye a move for the Ajax attacking midfielder Mohamed Kudus, but they will increase their approach and intensity in relation to this deal. They want him. They believe they need him. This could be a very epic battle between the two giant London clubs. We're looking at some of the biggest stories on OneFootball today, so make sure you download their app so you can check them out, read them, source them yourself, scan the QR code on the screen, or click in the link in the description below. We're also going to be talking about Mbappe, with Chelsea, Man United, and Tottenham wanting him. We know Real Madrid are a priority, but Premier League clubs are going to try and sign Kylian Mbappe. Killy, could he be on his way to the Prem? And we're looking at the situation as Man United looks set to make Amrabat a priority signing to bolster the midfield. Hit the like button, subscribe to the Football Terrace right now. It's another episode of the Done Deal Show. Let's go. Kudus is one of the hottest properties in European football right now. We saw the breaking news yesterday from David Ornstein that Chelsea are serious, that Chelsea are close to agreeing personal terms. We know links. We had some people call out the Terrace yesterday in the comment sections, and they stated, well, Terry, you said that Arsenal were interested. This could be a hijack, but no credible journalist has even said Arsenal were looking at him. That isn't true. Sammy McBell and Ben Jacobs have both spoke at length about the idea of Mohamed Kudus coming in. One to watch from Ben Jacobs was the tagline, and there was an article about it from Sammy McBell. This is the player they're looking at. Now there's been a further update for you. Go check out the article now. But Mohamed Kudus to Arsenal could ramp up. This is according to a very credible Arsenal in the know, Charles Watts. He says, that it goes, Arsenal are considering a move for Mohamed Kudus. That is according to journalist Charles Watts. This has come out after the Chelsea link, by the way, who reports that the Gunners could step up their interest later in the window once some outgoings have been confirmed. And that's always been the same narrative. When people leave, they would look to bring additional people in. It is believed that Kudus' versatility in particular is appealing to Arsenal, with the 22-year-old able to cover for Bukayo Saka on the right and also feature in more central roles. My belief is very much this. I believe Chelsea and Arsenal both want him. Now, we may get to a situation where one of the two doesn't officially bid, but we know the reasoning for that. Most official bids don't come in because a player doesn't agree personal terms with you because they want to go elsewhere. Now, I'm not saying the media lie to us about this. They just tell us what the agents, but predominantly what the clubs are telling them. And a lot of journalists have an interest to protect themselves and make sure they maintain good relationships with these football clubs. But I believe that we are sophisticated enough now as football fans to read between the lines. We know Arsenal want him. It has now been corroborated by 3 credible people. They are looking at him. They are interested in him. It's a player they rate highly. Very, very similar to that of Chelsea. Now, Chelsea's report shows that they're in a more advanced stage. But if Arsenal don't press on from here, let's see who they buy. If they're not as good as Mohamed Kudus, then I think we understand that the player chose Chelsea. And there's no shame in that. This just happens. This is life. Chelsea, in my opinion, 100% wanted Declan Rice, but they moved on to Caicedo because Rice already decided to join Arsenal. It's the way that it works. But Arsenal, of course, have a big chance of getting him. They've got Champions League football. They're in a better situation right now than Chelsea. It's going to be an interesting race, and I'm very, very excited about it personally. Now, keeping with Chelsea, but also Man United and Tottenham, this report on OneFootball today says that Chelsea, Man United, and Tottenham want Kylian Mbappe. Now, I know what everybody says straight away, but Terry, Real Madrid are going to get him. I believe so as well. Don't misquote me. I don't want to see a lot of you leave comments before you watch the content. I know that. But it doesn't change the news. The news is and Chelsea, by the way, are being spoke up a lot more on this than any other team in England, will be having a go, will be trying to sign him. And do you know what I like about this? There's an element of bravery in it. Clubs are too scared to be publicly rejected. It's why if Arsenal agree personal terms with Kudus, Chelsea will say they pulled away, like they did with Onana. By the way, my club, Man United, do it. Everybody does it. It's so boring and transparent and see-through now. But I like the idea that Chelsea, Man United, and Spurs are going to go in for Mbappe. Why would you not? This is the last chance to ever sign him. He's 24. Unless he flops at Real Madrid, he ain't leaving until he's in his 30s, and then he's going to be past his best. Most likely. This is it. Your last chance. There's no one in the Tottenham team, Chelsea team, Man United team, Arsenal team, Liverpool team. No one's better than him. So why would you not try and sign him at 24 years? Also, it's not like he's a 31-year-old superstar. This is a 24-year-old man. I don't think Man United will get him. I don't think, no, Spurs won't get him. Chelsea, I don't think they will either. But I think it's brilliant to see these clubs go for him. You don't know what's going to happen. Maybe there's a reason Madrid can't do it. I don't know what that reason is right now. We've seen crazy stuff happen before in the window. Maybe Mbappe sits down with one of these clubs and falls in love with the idea. This time last year, Bellingham to Liverpool was seen as a foregone conclusion. This time last year, you would have been laughed at for suggesting Arsenal could get Declan Rice. Now, this would be one of the shock signings in the history of football. But there's always a chance. The only time there's no chance is if you don't try to get him. And at the very least, you should be making inquiries. You just should. Now, moving on to Manchester United. This article here states that Man United reportedly will now move on and prioritize a move for the Fiorentina midfielder Amrabat. It goes on to say here that a number of journalists and sources confirm that Man United have 3 midfielders on their shortlist, but the Moroccan international is the priority of the 3. There's no name of the other 2 right now. He says, but the 26-year-old had an impressive World Cup campaign with Morocco, and it remains to be seen whether he will remain in Serie A next season. He's in the final year of his contract with the Italian club, and Fiorentina will be under pressure to sell him this summer, as it appears he will not sign a new deal. Man United could use a combative presence in the middle of the park, and Amrabat is certainly the ideal fit. The 26-year-old impressed everyone with his aggressive performances at the World Cup and in the Europa Conference League last season. He could be an ideal partner for Casemiro at the heart of the Manchester United midfield next season. And I agree with so much of what's been said there. I know a few people have kind of called this deal out, and is he too similar to Casemiro? Can they play together? Yeah, I believe they can. Amrabat isn't just a powerhouse who breaks up play. He's a very technically proficient football player. I don't know if you've ever been around many people from, like, football people from countries like Morocco, from the Middle East, the Arab nations, whether it's in North Africa or it's in the Middle East. When we were out in Doha, we met a lot of people from Morocco. We met people from Tunisia were there. There's a lot of people that live in Qatar that are not Qatari. They're from different Arab nations and different parts of North Africa. And the one thing that stood out to me, we did a keepy up challenge. And the most technically gifted group of people, more so than the Europeans, more so than the some of the South Americans that we came across, was the Arabs. They were amazing. We had to make the game harder because they were taking too much money off of us. It was just do 50 keepy uppies for £50. They were doing it with ease. So then we changed the rules. They couldn't use their hand to pick it up at the start, and they had to use both feet. They still did it with ease. It was a madness. And I'm using that as an example and a case in point that if you're a professional football player from these nations, I just see you're going to be technically proficient, in my opinion. I'm going to hazard a guess. I don't often stereotype, but I think when it comes to footballing ability, nobody's going to get their knickers in a twist over it. Amrabat is technically proficient. Like you see from a lot of Moroccans, like you see from a lot of Algerians. Technically proficient. Brilliant footballing nations. Technically brilliant footballing nations. I'd love to see this guy in the Man United midfield. technically great, good passer, good energy, combative, strong, powerful. Get it done, Ten Hag. Get it done and take us up another level. Listen, people, until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again very, very soon.